Hello and welcome back to the Mayflower Curling Club for Draw 1 action here at the Women's Scotties Provincial. It's the women's turn now here, the 12 o'clock draw. We had some men's action for you this morning. We're featuring defending champion Marianne Arsenault going up against Christie Gamble here at the Mayflower Curling Club. I'm Ryan Corsell. I'm joined by Jim Nix. Hello, Jim, again.
Hi, Ryan. How you doing now?
Good, good. Got 3 other games in action this afternoon as well. It's the opening round of a 7-game round robin for these final 8 teams playing for the right to represent Nova Scotia at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Grand Prairie.
Yeah, we have, as you mentioned, Marianne defending champion and number 1 seed for this event. She's without a doubt the favorite here, I think. That would be pretty fair to say. Teresa Breen's had a great year, but as defending champ, I think you deserve the right to sort of be the fans' pick for number 1. Big challenge for Christie Gamble in this game. And Christie came into this as our 8th seed in this event, and she's up against it early, but we'll see how she gets along.
That's right. It's a new team this year for Christie Gamble. Christie's played in the Nova Scotia Scotties before, but this is her first appearance as a skip. And I know for third stone, Brigitte MacPhail, and second, Kaitlyn Veitch. It is their first Nova Scotia Scotties, so bit of a rookie team here, but they're joined by lots of experience at lead stone with Mary Mattatall, who's listed as 5th player on this team, but has actually had to come in and play thanks to some late developments. So good pickup here for Christie Gamble. Lots of experience, and Mary has been to tons of nationals, both women's and mixed, and she'll provide. She'll certainly help the team out with that experience.
Yeah, definitely not what you want. A week before the provincials to have to sort of mix up your team a little bit and bring another player in. But I think they've done very well with picking up Mary. As you mentioned, she's got a wealth of knowledge for sure. I think she'll be a real comforting body for this group because she just won't get rattled, and the greatness of the situation won't overwhelm her at all. So I think it's a great pickup, and I think she'll add a lot to this team.
Yeah, I agree. So far, a pretty open end here in the first. I think you might see that initially from Christie Gamble to try to get some stones underway. Let's look at the paths on the ice and settle any nerves that are still out there, possibly. Yeah. But it'll play to her advantage to have a simpler style against Marianne as well, because Marianne's known for making good clutch shots at the end, no matter how tough they might be.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's going to be imperative for Christie to keep the game a little bit simpler than Marianne for sure. And as they say, they always talk about shortening the game, and if she can kind of get this game to come down to the last 4 ends or so, that'd be perfect for her.
Yeah, a great example here. Really tight corner guard, but Marianne, no doubt, tries to go around it, and but maybe missed the sweeping call on that one a little bit. Just lost it at the end, and it is open for Christie to play the takeout.
Yeah, I was talking last week at the qualifier, talking with one of the men's teams that had played Marianne in their Super League here or Super League in Dartmouth or wherever, but she said that he said that they play so much like a typical men's team, I guess, basically, is they do that sort of shot. They play that come around tight guards. They don't really care. They're just gonna go pretty hard. And
yeah, a bit of a miscue there from Kaitlyn. Yeah, they're definitely very aggressive, and you've seen that bring them lots of great things in the past as well. I know they did really well at the Cashfield that was held in Truro this year here in Nova Scotia. I don't know if being the local team helped a little bit with that. I know they had lots of support in the stands, but they beat some big names there, and I think that's thanks to that aggressive style.
Yeah, it was great for them to get in a slam. It's not an easy thing to get into those slams, and teams work hard to try to have a spot in those, and for the Atlantic Canadian teams for sure that don't travel a whole lot, it's a kind of a rare opportunity. So it was great for Marianne, great for her to do well.
Yeah. And early setup here for her. Christie not interested in taking any kind of risk yet. She's just going to try to group these stones a little closer together and see if she has a chance at a double later in the end.
Yeah, that'll be the process here. It'll take a couple of shots to get it close maybe, but if you can work your way over there and have have somebody make a double at the end, even if it's yourself. That would be a good plan.
That's right. It's our first look at Gamble's third, Brigitte MacPhail here. Seems to have thrown it a little wide.
Yeah, that's not a good start.
The ice has been really good. I think it's key to try to keep the weight down on those open hits and grab the amount of curl you'll need to finish up at the end.
You really do have to understand the ice when you're playing the game. You have to understand that what happens when you throw weight and where you can miss and where you can't miss, because a shot like that, and I know it's very early, so it's hard for Brigitte to kind of know exactly where you have to throw it, but if you throw that rock a little bit, that rock a little tight, you hold it there, you make something out of the shot. When you up the weight on this ice, it's going to run pretty straight, and that's what happened there.
Yeah, definitely.
A couple places Marianne could put this. She could put it right in the center of the sheet, basically right on the center line, and try to spread the rocks out that way. And she's chosen basically to draw over by our left-hand stone here. And
yeah, she got really great finish on that, boys.
Yeah, did it ever, right? It really went in there well.
Buried behind a rock that's essentially at the height of top four.
Yeah. Does give Christie a little bit of a chance here to get away at least from the chance of dropping a 3-ender if you can make a double here and get a little roll. But mostly make the double. Girls are sure to be a little bit nervous in this game, taking on Marianne. If they can hold it, she's got a chance here.
Oh, she just misses the back one, rolls to the forefoot. But definitely a better throw for Brigitte. Sometimes it's hard to kind of head to the other side of the sheet after a miss on your first rock on the other side. Sometimes you just like a second throw at it, but nice adjustment there regardless.
Yeah, it was a good shot. Christina might have a little more weight on this than they were expecting, but holds on.
That shows the shooter.
She just throws it so good. The last couple of years, I live in New Glasgow, and she's been working in New Glasgow up until this year, and played at our club and practiced at our club, and it's just a treat watching her just throw the rock. So just throws it so straight.
Yeah, they're all really mechanically very solid. I think Marianne's a good example when it comes to that.
Christie's going to try to hit this and make the big roll all the way across. I'm not sure. I might not be playing the other one and either try to make the double or at least flop in front of the back one and maybe get out of this with a 2. This is a pretty optimistic look to make what would that be, about a 4, probably an 8-foot roll or so.
Yeah. I guess made perfect, the result is better, but
yeah,
it's it's harder, that's for sure.
Yeah, perfect's always hard.
Yeah.
That's my perfect stuff.
I suppose if she nestled up T-line, corner frozen on that one there.
Yep.
But it's a long roll. Yeah. And as you notice, they've brought Mary Mattatall's experience into the house on Christie's rocks. And Mary knew to sweep that one early, but even then, it's curled up to the face.
Yeah, that's the problem with that shot. You make a pretty good shot and really don't get much out of it. Just set up another hit and stick, and looking a lot like a 3-ender coming up here. So
yeah, you might see her change to the other side on her last one, it being the easier double, and then you're only giving up 2. But
yeah,
either way, it's a pretty strong end for Marianne's team.
Yeah, you just hate to drop that 3 in the first end. It's just so tough. I mean, it's tough enough against anybody, and then to drop it against the Arsenault rink is just makes it that much harder to come back.
Yeah, they're really strong when they're defending for sure. But a reminder to our viewers, we are playing provincial championships, which means games are 10 ends here at the Mayflower all week during the round robin. So, there's no reason for Christie to get too flustered yet. You just got to work on the deuce and go from there after that. But 10 end games, a long game. There's lots of time to make up.
Yeah, there is, for sure.
just really comes down to how they react to the first end.
Well, I'll make a double here and get out of this with a 2, and that would be perfect.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd be pretty happy with that. Christie actually chairing the organizing committee for this event. Eventually passed on her duties to compete this week, but put in lots of work into getting the sponsors and lining everything up so that we have a smooth event here this week, and I'd say she's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, done a great job. I sat in on a number of their meetings for the last 2 months, and she's a great chair and done a marvelous job. It's tough to do and tough to prepare when you're busy with all this extra stuff.
That's right, and a reminder to our viewers, it is the first time in Nova Scotia's history that they've hosted both events simultaneously.
Great shot there.
Great double there from Christie.
That's really all she could do. She wasn't even, no matter how good she made that shot, Marianne was going to end up with a draw for 2. So, she did all she can do. She rolled out, but that really didn't matter.
And Marianne will be happy with this free draw in the first end to try to get her weight down.
Yeah, this is one of the rare times when both teams are happy with the 2-ender.
Yeah.
Not often that happens,
yeah.
Let's the gamble team maybe take a little bit of a breath and say, okay, well, that's not so bad. So they had hammer, they're supposed to get 2, and now we can take it with our turn.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And she hasn't made this one yet either. We should make sure that she makes it before we give it to her.
Yeah, I think her chances are pretty good. Did I speak too soon, Jim?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Oh, wow.
That's a huge break.
Results in the single for Marianne Arsenault. She goes up 1-0 after 1, but huge turn of events there on her feature sheet.
Yeah, sweepers didn't seem to be in a panic on that one early. From up here, it looked like it was a little bit slow, which usually when I find I sit up here, everything looks heavy to me. So
yeah, they definitely threw more stones down the other side of the sheet there as that end went on. So a different speed than what she was timing on the other was. But she had some draws down there earlier, going the other way, I suppose.
Yep.
But
well, just one of those things happens.
They'll be talking about that one.
Yep. Talking to some of the men's teams after this morning's run, and the ice, everybody's really happy with the ice. It's held up well. It's got nice curl and it's got nice speed. And the numbers that everybody was giving me for draw time certainly indicated it was very quick, in the neighborhood of 25 to 25 and a half seconds in the long time, which is quick ice, and that's what you really want as a player. It's like a good golfer. Good golfers like fast greens, and good curlers like fast ice.
Yeah. They brought in extra help this week. Ice maker from Ottawa.
John Wall,
John Wall, yeah. Come in and help the team at the Mayflower.
Yeah, John's got a lot of experience. I'm not exactly sure of all the events he's done, but certainly he's follow him on Twitter, and I know he's been all around the world making ice, and makes ice at a couple clubs in Ottawa, I understand. So he's got lots of knowledge, and that's really all it is right now. It's for the guys in Nova Scotia, and guys like Jimmy Danbrook here at the club at Mayflower, just needing a little bit of experience in making arena quality ice and how to do that. And everybody sort of has an idea, I think, but it's whenever you get a chance to take advantage of the talent of somebody who's done it more often, then you should do so almost in anything.
Yeah. You mentioned Twitter, Jim. I thought of this afternoon after our game that we forgot to mention even once this morning, because we do want you to be a part of our broadcast here while we're here, and you can do that by shouting out at us on Twitter using hashtag NSCurls, NSCURLS. We'll be here all week. We're covering 2 sheets per draw. We have the men and the women playing back-to-back all week. Lots of action. Y'all can also come down here to the Mayflower Curling Club on Monaghan Drive, just off Yonge Street in the north end of Halifax. There's single passes available. You can get event passes available. Got a great kitchen upstairs. And lots of great curling action.
Yeah, it's a great way to spend a day.
So, saw Marianne go up with the guard, and a wreck attempt from Mary Mattatall around the guards. We resulted in kind of 2 corner situations for Christie Gamble. She gets a hit and roll there. The rock peeks out the other side, so Marianne's going to go after it.
Yeah, right idea for sure, and just really close to being perfect. Just probably half an inch or so on that object stone, and she would have been right behind the guard. So, right idea. Drop the weight down, which is good to do on those kinds of shots.
We talked about some directional sweeping this morning in our broadcast. Saw an example of it there with Christina Black trying to keep the rock straight coming down the ice.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with the ladies. I expect to see most of the men's teams using that technique. With the women, I'm not sure how many teams will try to go with that.
Yeah.
The little less experience here. The couple of teams that do travel a lot with Marianne and Teresa Breen's team that have been all over everywhere playing this year, but most of the teams really don't get out that much and play in that many of events, so I'm not sure that we'll see too many teams using that, but certainly this team does.
Yeah, no surprise.
Kaitlyn rolls down in that. Kaitlyn throws she's left-handed, so her out turn, she throws it a little bit across her body. The line of delivery just goes a little bit one way, and then she just brings the rock back across. She gets a ton of curl on her out turn. And playing a little defense here, just get rid of this corner guard.
Yeah, I think we're going to try to roll in for a second, but no, it's going to roll out. So decision time for Christie here. Does she just want to keep it open, maybe play for the blank, go after the 2 and 3, and that seems to be
not
what
a whole
she's
lot.
chosen. There's not a whole lot else to choose from, I guess.
No, not a lot to work with there, and sometimes you just have to say, okay, well, let's go regroup and give it a go the next game.
Yeah. This one's got some curling to do. I'm just going to go by.
Well, that sort of messed me up. That's a little opposite of what I thought how she throws that shot, so don't know what to make of that.
Yeah.
Just that little weight. When you throw that little bit up weight, it's going to go dead straight.
As we mentioned, 3 other games on the way here in our first ladies draw. Next door we have seniors champion Colleen Pinckney taking on Jill Brothers. Pinckney scoring 1 in the first end. She's up 1-0. And next door here we have last year's runner-ups, Teresa Breen, as we mentioned, competitive team playing Emily Dwyer, and they actually blanked the first end, so they're playing the second.
Well, it does the job for Marianne's team. They're just trying to make a force Christie Gamble into taking 1, and there's a few ways to do that.
Yeah, just the objective was to lay 2, and that's definitely what they're doing. But there might be a nice roll here and make things a bit harder for Marianne. Still far from setting up any nice deuce, though, for Christie. It's going to be on the outside. She might try to get the outside slash here, but no. Just going to push it into the back 4. Just going to group those stones slightly, but...
Yeah, the girls are going to have to make a bit of an adjustment there. You just cannot get away with throwing the rock wide on this sheet or on this ice in general, and you have to find a way to fix that as a player. And sometimes that's a little adjustment in the hack, and sometimes it's a little adjustment in the release. And sometimes you just have to say, I'm not going to be wide, and cheat it a little bit one way or the other if you're not being able to figure it out otherwise. Because
yeah, and I think especially down this right-hand side coming at the glass where we're looking at it now, it's definitely one of the straighter spots we've seen.
A little bit of a break here. Maybe this one looks like it's going to be right in.
I should glide to the top of the button. I thought Marianne would go back to the wing, replace that stone on the wing there with that. But
yeah, I thought so too. Maybe it was.
Suppose without hammer.
Yeah. But again, I guess it's just having that plan. Are you trying to force? You're trying to steal, and if you're trying to force, certainly throwing it at the wings is a good plan, and might give the other team a little easier shot at scoring one, but it does what you want to do. So, yeah.
She'd love to roll just in front of the yellow. It's going to roll out over top.
Yeah, I think it's just got to make a little adjustment in weight or ice, one or the other, because she right behind that rock, and Brigitte threw it perfect, really, right up the stick. And
that's what it looked like, yeah.
Yeah, threw it really, really good, and ended up rolling out. So it's somewhere the team will just have to figure out, okay, we got to throw less weight, or we got to throw it, or we got to take less ice. So Marianne going again. It looks like, I'm not sure, Ryan, where is she trying to put this? Just basically full 8 at the top, or?
Yeah, I guess the call would be more of that. Maybe bite the 4, maybe kind of the same kind of positioning that one has into the 4-foot. So in that respect, I suppose the last rock was heavy.
Yeah.
But that would be ideal placement, I guess, biting the 4 center line. Certainly hoping for any kind of miss where she could place a center guard, and then she beats us. She beats us with our rock to the wing theory.
Yeah, it's just a bit of an odd choice to me. I think if I'm going to throw this shot, I'm going to throw it in front of my yellow one that's at the back of the 4-foot, and maybe full 8-foot in front of that's not a bad shot. I don't know that.
Yeah,
totally get this one, but
I guess this will also trying to block the draw somewhat. This will need a bit of legs as well.
Yeah. I like this shot on the last shot and her last one, but I think Christie's in enough trouble here that she's going to call a freeze. I was going to say she's in enough trouble here that she's pretty much has to draw on the next one, and the only place she has to draw really is to the back, the one at the back 4. So I'm not sure that accomplished much.
Yeah, it didn't change Christie's call, that's for sure.
Oh, well, Marianne's... Well, Christie, I guess, starting to throw the out-turn freeze. Tough shot in the second end. You haven't probably seen this spot at all. I don't imagine you were even out quite that far in practice, so...
No, that's right. It's pretty wide.
Big shot, though. You need to get this one close. It's the other place Mary really helps you out, because probably no other...
Seen a lot of rocks come down. Eh?
Yeah, I don't think there's any other woman curler in Nova Scotia that would have as much experience or do as good a job calling line as Mary Mattatall. So.
Yeah, it's a pretty good effort there. I think she is shot rock. Marianne's going to go at it inside out, as we say. And, that'll increase her chances of getting rid of the rock cleanly.
Yeah, as you say, the reason for that, obviously, if you play the out turn here and it just stays out there, you can't do anything about it other than just watch it go down the sheet and hope it doesn't jam on that. Whereas on this turn, you have the opportunity, if she gets a little narrow or something, you can sweep it and hold it there, and just a lot less risk. But I think that was a good shot for Christie, though. I mean, it was pretty darn close to the right weight, and and certainly gives her something to work off for her last one, where it looks like she's going to have to draw for one probably when this is done.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was going to come up to the face for her, but just ran that much straighter. She probably had about back 8 on that.
Yeah, I think that was the difference. Just not a whole lot too much weight, just a little bit.
Marianne always throws a real positive rotation. And,
yeah, one thing about Marianne, if you're going to beat her, you're not going to beat her having her throw open takeouts.
No.
She made a career out of that. She basically
Yeah.
playing second stone for Colleen Jones for years, and basically just made every takeout she ever threw, I think. So Christie going at this with a little more weight than I thought she might. Looks kind of like ice for, I don't know, probably a control weight sort of thing. Just got to be careful here.
Yeah, she just threw the draw. I think maybe she just...
Yeah, I think I would have just thrown the same weight. Yeah. You can't afford to roll out here, for sure.
No.
So I just, I think I might have just said, well, we just played it. Just tighten up the broom a few inches and throw it again. But obviously this was more comfortable for her, and as a skip, that's usually what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely not wide. Suber's going to try to hold this one. I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, she's got a good shot, I think.
Very good. For the single, Christie Gamble responds with 1 in the second end. We've got a tie game, 1-1 after 2.
Certainly looks like Christie found some time to throw rocks over the last couple of weeks. Wasn't all organizing this event.
Yeah, that's right.
Four pretty good shots so far.
That's right. Yeah. Next door, we have Teresa Breen, who's taking a single on Emily Dwyer. She's up 1-0. They're playing the third. Dwyer has hammer. And the only game we haven't mentioned yet, we have Colleen Jones playing Julie McAvoy over on sheet 2. Colleen took 1 in the first, and they blanked the second, so she's up 1-0. Julie McAvoy has hammer in the third.
Yeah, you have pretty opposite strategies going on between sheet 2 and sheet 5. I think Teresa and Emily are probably the two most aggressive skips that I know in the women's game right now, and in sheet 2, Colleen still plays a pretty defensive game, and Julie, just having been a little new to this and not skipping last year, and probably is going to play a little more defensively than some of the teams here, just making sure that she keeps herself in the games. And
yeah, getting the experience. There's so Christie throws her first stone, T-line on the button. No surprise there, as we were saying earlier, they might be opted to keep the game a little simpler, stay with Marianne.
Yep.
But especially after that second end, facing 4 on her last shot.
Yeah.
Just realize that it's a tie game and it's a new end,
and this is the difference in the Arsenault team and most of the teams we'll see out here today and all week long, is that very few teams would leave that rock in the forefoot, biting the button and throw up the corner guard. I dare say there wouldn't be anybody else at this point in the game that would do that, and the Arsenault team does. So that comes from playing around, playing a lot of the best teams, and knowing what it takes to really win at this level. And that's just an experience thing and a confidence thing, because it's scary leaving those rocks biting the button.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking across the sheet, and you might be right. I think if I had to pick another team to take that approach, it might be Teresa Breen's team, and it's probably part of the reason why they were the finalists last year.
Yeah, and 1 and 2 on the points list this year.
Yeah, both getting the straight berths into this event. Yeah. No need to go through the open qualifier, which really lets them structure their season a bit differently. They're able to have a bit more specifically geared practices towards certain things, because they don't have to worry about getting through the qualifiers. Just try to be the best you can be for this week.
Yeah.
So they've been able to design their whole season to peak this week at provincials.
Yeah, it's a completely different approach. It just takes a while to get comfortable with that whole risk-reward strategy and leaving rocks in play. Until you do it a little bit or a lot, it's hard to be comfortable. You tend to squeeze a little too tight, and you still got to throw the stone. You still got to let it go and throw the right weight, and you're good.
Yeah.
Good shot there.
Yeah, nice roll to the wing there. Christie's going to go after this. Now, curious to see this spot again. We've seen this run pretty straight now. I guess I'd be more curious to see if they've picked it up and learned to bring the weight a little down.
It's a little wide on the throw, I think, but she's going to get it back, it looks like.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit better weight. Still pretty hard, but yeah. Yeah, it'd be really, it's all the difference, though, when you start saving those shooters.
Well, yeah, because what that does now is Marianne goes up. You have a pretty good guard in the front, and by rolling out there, Marianne just goes up and takes it off, and your opportunity for steal is just about gone for this end.
And Marianne's got a couple corners.
Yeah, exactly. So like I say, somewhere, it might not even be this game. It might be after the game when they sit down and talk about it, say, okay, well, what do we need to do moving forward? We've still got 6 games, win or lose this one, it doesn't matter. But what we need to make sure that we give ourselves the best chance to win, and that might be one of the things that they say, hey, we got to adjust that takeout weight. Got to bring it down a little bit because rocks are going to roll out all over the place, and it's just, you just can't play the game that way. Yeah,
it's a blessing and a curse, I guess, to play the defending champions first, especially for this rookie team. Just decide what you want to get out of the game to bring forward to your games for the rest of the week.
Well, you're right. This morning's game, we kind of thought that it was a good time for somebody in this case, Paul Dexter, to take on Jamie Murphy's team, but being number 1 seed as well, problem was Jamie's team was just too good this morning.
Yeah, pretty strong. It's a nice raised triple there made on sheet 2 by Colleen Pinckney's team. It's quite nice. A little board weight raised triple. And Jill Brothers has come back with a single in that game in the second end, so they're playing the third end all tied up at 1. Colleen Pinckney has hammer.
Colleen's one of 2 senior ladies teams we have out here this weekend, and entered in this upcoming senior provincials, and tells you how good they are.
That's right. Colleen Pinckney's team, earning their way to the final 8 women's Scotties, and Colleen Jones's team as well. And I guess you could also say the pickup here on sheet 4 for Mary Mattatall.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Mary's got a good team in the seniors as well. It's certainly a chance to win. They've had a great year.
They've had a great year. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've just seen a great shot here in that out turn come around. Jane Snyder making it perfect just about. So
yeah.
Christie hasn't got a lot of choice other than to try the run back, at least get rid of that front one. And if you don't make the double, at least roll on the rings and make the Arsenault team have to do something.
I think Brigitte's close here. Oh, she's gonna stuff it.
Yeah, I think you had to let that curl up. I think if you don't make that shot, you need to at least roll to the inside. Tough to do, but I think you've got to go that way. It's hard to make that.
It's pretty unfortunate there. And never letting up on the aggressive side. Marianne's going right to the same spot behind that corner guard.
Yeah, this is a really aggressive call, actually. Most teams here would just split the house. Actually, I think
she is splitting the house, yeah. You originally indicated maybe behind the corner, but...
It's a smarter call, I think. You try to... Not a lot of room around that corner. If you set up a double, your end's over, and right now you're in a real good position to get your 2s. So spread them out, and Christie has no choice but to go after them, and after the one that's in the open, and should end up with a pretty easy shot for her, too.
Yeah.
Christina has no trouble with that. She doesn't have too much trouble with any shot, so putting it right on the tee line. And
well, Christie's still got 3 stones here. You make 2 nice rolls, you might have a chances at a double on your last.
Yeah, really, it's about hitting and making sure you stay first and make them play it, so at least there's an opportunity that they might roll out somewhere.
These are much nicer stones coming down this right-hand side from Kaitlyn and Brigitte.
Yeah, Brigitte's throwing the last 3 shots really well. Like,
Yeah.
really looks good throwing them, and that's a much better effort.
Have our in-house statistician here, Jim Nix, with us today, taking a few notes as the players throw some rocks.
Yeah, we'll try to give you an update after 4 ends on what that is. This morning's game, we're going to give it after 4 and 8, but we never made it to the 8th.
That's right.
Same plan for Marianne here, just hit it on the nose and stay there.
Yeah, so still not much of an angle for Christie, but we'll see her want to try to get some kind of roll.
Mentioned Colleen Pinckney's team earlier. They qualified through the zone play down in Shelburne, and actually Colleen didn't play at all that weekend. She was sick and never ever made it to Shelburne. So,
oh wow,
yeah, that's not too many teams could make it through that qualifier with your skip on the sideline. So
yeah. Here we go with first skip stones here for Christie Gamble. It's pretty close to the nose, I think. Yeah. She's actually going to be second shot, so see what Marianne decides to do. She's still going to hit it. Marianne could, try to better that draw weight and try to throw one full 8 there. There's no real reason to go after the stone, but.
No, it's you would see a number of teams play the draw for sure, but it's just a matter of preference, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit of a risk on the takeout for sure, but
we've seen this side run pretty straight, and there's really no room for error for any kind of outside roll here, so let's see if Marianne's picked that up. You see Christina yelling out hair there for, I think Jennifer Baxter has the hair broom. Trying to get that to curl in a bit, just didn't want to lose it on the high side, and it's pretty effective. So I say they've got that practice down to a pretty precise art.
Yep.
It's great if you have your volume turned up high enough wherever you're listening to us from. You can actually pick up some of the conversations from the players on the ice. Players aren't mic'd individually, but they're just the mics that are out there on the ice will pick quite a bit of it up.
Yeah, it was good. We noticed this morning a couple of times we saw conversations happening with the skips and thirds or skips and front ends, and we were able to hear some of what they were talking about, so that was great.
Yeah. See Christie throwing a bit more weight on this one.
Yeah, I think she's trying hard to get the
really
roll
tried
here.
and bounce over. Yeah, it just won't come back there. That kind of weight.
Yeah, it's hard to take much less ice because you're looking at not much. If you put it in the middle of the stone, geez, if it curls, 8 inches, I miss it. It's hard to make yourself do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's funny how we'll throw that shot 8 times and do the same thing 8 times, and still can't make yourself move the broom that far. So, draw for 2 for Arsenault.
See if she'll be looking for a better draw than the first end. That's for sure. It's full 8 here, full 12, I guess. Just next door on sheet 5 between Teresa Breen and Emily Dwyer. The fourth stone player for Teresa Breen, Tanya Hilliard, just made a pistol down in off the side. onto the yellow that was on the pin, and now she's sitting 2 buried. Emily Dwyer to come with the last stone there, chasing 2 in the top 4.
Well, I guess you're right. I thought she had one sewed up pretty much.
Oh, Tanya found a way in. Yeah, no, it was a really great shot, and now she's faced with the gold draw. Marianne's got a great draw on her sheet for her deuce. She'll go up 3-1 over Christie Gamble after 3 ends. And if we go back to sheet 5 for a second, Emily Dwyer light on her draw attempt, and she'll give up the steal of 2 to Teresa Breen. Breen will go up 3-0 there, in control of that game. Another 3-0 on the board on sheet 2. Colleen Jones with also a steal of 2 in the third to go up 3-0 on Julie McAvoy. Some early leads here this morning.
Yeah, I'm thinking Julie must have maybe hit and rolled out on a shot over there, because it wasn't a lot of stuff out front. There were really no guards, but there were 3 Jones rocks in the house when I looked over, so I'm thinking she must have just played a hit and maybe rolled out. The thing about it with that Breen team, I watched them a little bit during the Dave Jones spiel. They certainly won't take their foot off the pedal, though. They'll give you some opportunities just because they just want to play.
Yeah. They make a lot of shots. I've seen Tanny make quite a few of those pistols over this year, last year as well. And they have the combination where Teresa Breen in the house but throws third stones for the team. And it's always worked really well for them. Jocelyn and Amanda on that team, the front end, Jocelyn Adams and Amanda Simpson have been playing together for years since their junior days. So there's a lot of chemistry on that team. They're really active on the social media, posting all sorts of pictures from when they're traveling on events and stuff.
So we got a guard up there. I don't know if that was an intentional guard or not, to be honest. I'm thinking Marianne would have been putting that rock in the house, but...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's not, so we'll just assume for now that was the call. We were sort of both paying more attention to the other sheet, I guess. We'll do that every now and then. It's hard, yeah, it's hard to focus sometimes.
No, this is the 3rd or 4th stone I've seen... well, I was going to say over curl, but lots of room. I guess it, at the end of the day, it really did over curl. It peeks out on the other side completely and hangs around the edge of the back 12.
Yeah, that's where, and I don't know, maybe they did it there, but certainly sweepers have to communicate really well with the skip, because that rock was heavy enough that I think, letting that touch that top one and either rolling into the rings and putting the yellow on the corner or hitting it a little thicker, getting your own corner, would have been a much better option than end up at the back of the 12-foot.
Yeah, getting some corners out of it for sure, yeah.
But Marianne is playing the back one, so you still have another chance to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I think lesson will be learned there. You really do have to get by that guard by quite a bit to be buried top button.
Be careful here. It starts to go pretty hard.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of them bust there, and I think they've lost this one. But as you were mentioning, maybe hit and roll off, get a couple corners out of it.
Yeah, a little better weight on that one too. They just need to, and maybe see Christie going out to talk to everybody a little bit here. I'm wondering if that might be a little bit on the the communication side to make sure that we all stay engaged and give the proper feedback to the skip, because skip is, they're calling line, but they really have to consider what the weight is, and you got to get them that information.
Yeah, and it's nothing more stressful actually for a skip to try to do both.
Yeah.
So Marianne's just peeling away here. Just going to leave the guards there. Christie appears to be making a play on them. Yeah, she's just going to try to hit and roll and stay for a corner. kind of a change in strategy there, I'd say. Maybe that came out of their little team meeting.
Yeah, well, she's watched.
I think with the curl they were getting behind those guards, that try to sink another one, maybe.
Yeah, I think so, Ryan. I think it's it's a little backwards. I know you got a hammer, but I think that you've got to make an effort at going around there, and if you're going to play this shot, you got to play to get both yellows, I think, and she doesn't appear to be doing that.
I don't know if she's changed the call or she was trying to come across the face, but she's just going to get the side yellow, leave the 2 guards there. That blue might be useful if Marianne ends up being able to get around, but might have been more productive to try to get around yourself, I think.
Well, yeah, I agree totally. You either got to try to go around or you got to try to make the double peel and roll to the corner and get your own corner. I think that was just destined not to end up with a real positive result, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, here you see Christina Black trying to get that rock to warp in behind the guard, and so she was pretty effective at it.
Yeah. The key with that stroke, from everything that I understand, is just getting it in the right direction. You got to get it exactly the direction you want to go, which is usually going to be somewhere around 45 degrees or a little steeper, maybe 45 to 65 degrees. And
essentially the right path is what you're saying. Yeah.
Because if you get a little too flat, then you really are just sweeping across the face, which used to be the rule, but it's not anymore. And you just don't get that same effect of actually guiding the stone. Helps for speed, but doesn't do the same thing that the directional sweeping does. This could be a good shot. If she hits this thin enough, she might actually spin right into the house.
Yeah,
they hit a little thinner.
Wasn't quite lined up to come straight back, I think.
Good shot either way. Gets rid of all the guards.
Yeah. See some defense on the part of Theresa Breen and Colleen Jones with their 3-point leads.
Well, Colleen likes defense all the time, so it's not quite as much of a change for her.
I suppose.
But you can't argue with success. She's had a lot of success playing the game that way, and the team buys into it, and everybody makes their shots. And I always talk that strategy is one thing, but sometimes the best strategy is just making your shots, and their team has made a lot of shots for a lot of years.
Yep. Yeah, she is playing with longtime third Kim Kelly, longtime lead Nancy Delahunt, and they've picked up Mary Sue Radford, who's had a long-time affiliation with the team in their successful years as well. There's fifth or coach.
Christie kind of went for the different side double there, but I'm thinking you got to stay on that shot and just you got to make Marianne play it. And
yeah.
But again, it's one of those things. If you can decide early enough, you can maybe make the double and get out of it. But if you don't, then you better hang around. So Marianne once again will just split the house.
Yeah, pretty simple gameplay here from both teams. I think that was definitely the goal for Christie Gamble. However, just one miss or two misses in the end, and we don't have room for that playing against Marianne.
No.
Just about even.
So Christie's deciding here, I guess, that there's no way she's going to manage to manufacture a two playing up and down the sheet. So switch the strategy up a little bit, play the freeze, and if you can make a good one, you still might have a chance to get your deuce.
Yeah, I agree. I think you might start seeing more of this there.
Brigitte hasn't thrown a lot of draws yet, so a little heavy on this one, but I think she was a little tight too, so she might be okay.
Yeah, it's gonna curl right about now. Just gonna bump it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad though. I'm not surprised to see her beat a little heavy. Like I said, she's thrown basically takeouts the last 4 or 5 shots for sure, and just making sure you're there on that one. And
you'll see Marianne, similarly to a lot of the top players, have the same pre-shot routine. Every shot she throws, no matter how complicated or how simple it may be. It's learned a lot of the pro tips over the years.
Christie's going to draw again, and she might as well. That's a good call.
Yep. Seen this path a couple times now. Guess in theory you only got to make one, but so it'll have to be this one. There's only 2 left.
This one's got to curl a long ways.
Yeah. Can hear Mary Mattatall calling line there. Really has to curl.
It's one of those, Ryan, that if you were a team that was using directional sweeping, you probably were going to be sweeping that one a little bit. Maybe it might have been a little heavy, but either way, I think that you would see some teams now on that rock from halfway down the sheet down just to make it curl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he might have tried it. Yeah, she kind of threw it to that back 8, back 12 by herself, so
yeah,
it's hard to think that some sweeping wouldn't have added some legs to it, but I suppose the curl makes up for those added legs, so could end up in a good spot.
Marianne trying to throw this, just bite the top of the 8 foot, I guess, and make the draw as tough as she can make it. And she could put it right on the button, I suppose, and just let Christie play the takeout for.
Yeah, I think
one.
if you'd go that far, you might as well go back 4 and to result in any roll going under the yellows.
Yeah, good thought. Yeah, and the other thing it does too makes you maybe put 2 shots in your head too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's what this shot's all about for Marianne. But yeah, you see Christina Black indicating there the call to the top 8. This one's going to need some legs as well. A couple light draws so far for Marianne. Christie should be close on this one. She'll just need full 8 for her single point. Seen her make some pretty close draws so far.
Yeah, this is the side she played in the second end coming down this way. And
now had her last stone just settled a foot higher, and even less than that. For second stone, Marianne draws, misses her draw. You might have had a chance for 2 here.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't know if Marianne would have left it there being second shot, but
yeah, I think you're right. She's probably going to hit it, but
Just goes to show every shot counts. You never know. And this one's curling early as well for Christie. The sweeper's working hard for the line. It's going to be real close. Looks okay. Indication is fine. The weight looks good too. See Christina Black try to bring this to the back 8, back 12. Oh, she's not going to try too hard. Nice draw there from Christie Gamble.
Yeah, there's a time to work and time not.
I thought that one might have had a chance. But
well, I did too, actually, when it came by the guard, and I thought, oh.
Yeah, the sweepers really did have to go on it to hold the line, but a nice result. It's 1 point for Christie Gamble in the fourth end. She trails Marianne Arsenault 3-2. Julie McAvoy on sheet 2 with a nice response. Got a deuce in 4. Colleen Jones continues to lead that one 3-2 with hammer in 5.
That was a big point for Christie. It's a 3-1 game. You certainly can't afford to give up another point or two, and makes a draw. Just down 1 now with the hammer and the even ends. If you get a force here, score 2 the next end, and it's all tied up.
Tie game, yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I think you'll see the offense switch be turned on here for Christie. Really interesting fourth end forming next door on sheet 3 between Colleen Pinckney and Jill Brothers. Colleen Pinckney has hammer. Jill Brothers is laying 3.
Yeah, it's a good thing she has hammer because there's a lot of rocks in there.
Yeah, and lots of rocks in play all end, and taking those teams an extra minute or 2 for that end. All games timed here at Provincial Championships. We believe it's 38 minutes for 10 ends of play, 2 1-minute timeouts. Thinking time, of course.
Yeah, you talk about the Arsenault team a little bit, and just doing a real quick number crunch on where they're at as a team so far, and they're just under 90% at 89% as a team, and that's with Marianne having missed a couple of shots and that being down a little bit. So that's a pretty good performance. Obviously, you're going to have to. We talked earlier about Christie trying to keep the game, tight and fairly basic, and that's good strategy. But you've got to make all the basic shots because these guys are just not. It hasn't. They haven't been pushed yet, but they just don't miss very many of the basic shots. So.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jim. And you see a come around attempt here from Mary. I think they're just going to end up with another center guard. And it's not the worst thing, however, those are pretty easy for a double peel opportunity. Marianne's going to keep the foot on the pedal here, though. Go right around that guard.
Yeah, good point though, Brian, because it does, we noticed this morning in the game we did this morning, everybody kept throwing it to the back of the forefoot, and that just doesn't work. So where that one is not a bad spot. Yeah, if Marianne's team makes a great shot here, they're in pretty good shape, but any kind of a miss or an error here, and all of a sudden you get a chance to get in there with 2 center guards, and that's what you want when you don't have the last rock.
Yeah. This one's going to slide to the button. Yeah, right on the credit union sign. East Coast Credit Union, of course, our main sponsor for the men's event, happening simultaneously this week at the Mayflower.
Yeah, I mentioned this morning that certainly the NSCA is thrilled to have East Coast Credit Union come on as a sponsor of the men's event for the first year. Hopefully it'll be something that they can renew for future years, but right now we'll just get through this year and see what happens.
That's right. Run back attempt here from Kaitlyn. She's already got silver curling on the one rock. And she's just going to peel that one off. But exposes the yellow stones on the right-hand side. They'll be able to make a crack at those. Sure, Marianne's going to attempt some kind of guard. Or she's going to go right in again.
I wouldn't be surprised to see her go right around. I don't think you'll see her throw a guard at all. She's got last rock. And
yeah. Yeah, maybe not a guard, but something tight in the top 12 coming this side, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what she's called.
Yeah. And sheet 3 next door, it appears Colleen Pinckney is attempting a hit to give up 1. It's not often that you see someone hitting to give up a steal, but Colleen believes she thinks that's her best option here. It looks like she's going to actually miss the rock wide, so it's going to result in a steal of 2 for Jill Brothers. And she'll go up 3-1 over Colleen Pinckney next door on sheet 3.
Yeah, big miss for Colleen. She doesn't miss too many of those open shots, so that was a unfortunate one. Drops down to 2-point deficit to Jill Brothers. Jill's the number 3 seed, I think, for this event, and went through the qualifier pretty easily, and good team.
Yeah, I think on Colleen's first one made a double raised double, so surprising to see her miss the open one on her second.
Yeah, we see that every now and then. That the easier one seems to be a little harder sometimes. I say, is it focus? Is it whatever? It's just it just happens. Sometimes you have that big sense of relief from getting out of trouble, and then you just miss the easy one.
Yeah, for sure. We saw that a bit this morning in our men's game as well. So Marianne continues to throw these tight guards on the right-hand side. This one's going to slip into the top 12. I'm going to give Christie with a bit of a double opportunity here.
Now you need to stay on one of these shots just to make Marianne play it. If you can hit this one and stay, if not right there, at least stay in the house, maybe a little bit to the right of Christie's broom. It's Marianne won't leave it there. She'll make a play on it, which might open up the back one. But if you just consistently roll out, then it's just not gonna do it for you. So Brigitte needs to hang around on this one.
Yeah, definitely needs to hold the shooter. She'd either throw less weight or just paper the guard, but she's got lots of weight on this one.
I
think they're going for the other double now. Oh, and they're just gonna stuff them.
Yeah, a little unlucky there, but
yeah, it's gonna change the angle slightly. There was a run back on the stone on the pin before, but with that exchange of stone, it's actually more so behind the yellow. So Marianne's just going to wrap another one around that middle there.
Yeah, it's the same old story with the Gamble team, though. We're just, the girls are throwing it pretty good now, and it's just a matter of matching up the weight and ice. And that shot, I actually thought she threw it not too bad either, and it just seemed to, I wouldn't say it drifted back, but it certainly didn't curl. Marianne going right for the juggler here.
Yeah, definitely. Great sweeping there from Jennifer Baxter and Jane Snyder.
Christina Black is cruising along at a 98% clip. I'm not quite sure where she lost the point. The score must have been a little bit brutal there for one shot.
Yeah, they work hard as a team as well. Lots of practicing. They're really sharp throwers as a result.
Yeah, I think they work at all aspects of the game, including the psychological part of the game, and even things like nutrition. I think is a big deal to this team, and they make sure they fuel their bodies in the right way, and a much better shot here.
Just going to get action on all three. Going to lose the back one.
Yeah, really unlucky not to get a 2 out there, but much better throw. Brigitte seemed to bring the weight down there.
Yeah, for sure.
Still plenty firm enough, but just a little more controllable.
That's a great example of, 9 times out of 10, that's really all the weight you need, and it's much easier to save your shooters that way. That one there, she had to hit it, the first one pretty thin, so she didn't save the shooter anyways, but
and on this ice surface, it's a little different with normal club curling. Even here in Mayflower, I'm sure is the same as our club in New Glasgow. The rocks aren't quite as lively. The surface isn't quite as lively, so you tend to start to throw it a little bit harder all the time.
Yeah.
And with these rocks and this surface, I don't think you need to. I don't know that the circles are real lively, but they certainly are enough that you don't have to throw rockets down there all the time.
No, I think it's more a testament to the good ice making we've been able to bring in for the event.
This will be an interesting call. Christie's got a tough decision here.
Yeah.
And you got a 3-2 game, and you're looking at she's looking at either the draw or you end up running the yellow one trying to make a double. But I kind of think this is the right call. You know, you're kind of running some risk, but heck, you got to make a good shot somewhere. And
yeah, I agree, Jim.
Yeah. And this one, you got a lot of room to work with here. You can go around that guard and then go anywhere from the top of the 8 foot to the back of the 8 foot's a pretty good shot. You may not be shot, but you take a lot of the heat off and give yourself a good chance on the next one.
Yeah, Christie put one, I guess it was back 4 last end, and that was with a lot of sweeping that was needed for line. So she had her weight for the game, so she should make this one close.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Definitely make things a little harder for Marianne. I think Christie would be pretty happy even if she just was able to force Marianne to a single here. But you make this nice, you might steal a point.
Yeah, unfortunately for the teams that have been down today, we've been saying that all day. That just hold the other team and kind of get a good number 2 in there. And
this one looks like it has some curling to do, but it should finish nice. Sweepers are trying to drag it for legs now. It's a good look at it now in our overhead. We're going to bring it in for second shot, but it's going to be light.
Yeah,
Marianne still lays 1.
2 feet, maybe 3 feet, I guess would have been absolutely perfect.
Yeah, the line was pretty good for it, eh? Still something Marianne has to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a situation where as the team with the hammer, you always hate to have to throw a guard. Like, you really don't want to have to throw a guard on that blue one, but Marianne might at least have to consider it here because it's not going to be hittable. Not without too much risk, I think. So we'll see what she decides to do. I think you can come right around the blue one, but then you leave it there for the tap.
Oof, yeah. Yeah, from up here, doesn't seem like there'd be much room. If you look at the overhead, which our spectators are looking at now, it seems like if you got anywhere close to nose, it'd go by it, but it's pretty much all you can see.
Yeah, you don't have any air between the two of them for sure, so you got to be really tight to that guard to not jam it. Worst case scenario, if you guard it, would be, I guess, Christie comes around it again. Well, going to be interesting. I'm really not sure what she'll end up playing here.
So it looks like she's elected to go to the wing, to the left-hand side as we look at our overhead shot there now.
Like just throwing it in the 8 foot over there? Is that what you think?
I think behind the tee line full 8. Can she get there? Yeah, she should get there. She'd be 1 and 2 and prevent any kind of hit and roll in opportunity.
Pretty precise shot.
The worst idea, but it's very precise. Yeah, anything light will give Christie an out here.
Yeah.
Christie's going to have a shot regardless if she leaves that blue stone there.
Yeah, I think she's going to be, no matter where Marianne puts this one, I think that she'll be playing the tap on the blue. I say that. Now, I will say if she ends up T-line at the edge of the 4 foot, she probably won't. She'll probably play the hit and roll. But
yeah. Especially if it's anything above the tee line.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
If you have, yeah. Yeah, with the line that they're calling here, they have to come pretty close on the inside of both those guards, but you'll see Christina Black guide the rock down nicely here. And it's pretty close to where they wanted it. Just held the line enough, and they got over far enough that the roll's that much harder. Looks like they've talked Christie into it regardless.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd be trying it that deep. I'd need the rock to be maybe a rock higher.
Well, the other thing is, too, you move your blue one, 6 inches in your number 2. So I I'm not so sure I might not play the same shot with just,
Yeah, especially she just threw it.
Well, exactly, yeah, I agree totally. And I think that's the key, is the fact that you did just throw it, so you have a definite knowledge of the route to get there. Oh, we have somebody falling on sheet 5.
Oh.
No injuries, but a burned stone, so
Oh.
Rock will have to go back.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised at this call. I know as a curler, you always love to throw the same stone twice. But you're going to see Christie play the outside in here.
Yeah,
that'll give her a bit flatter of a roll into the forefoot, so she could get to the back of the pin there, I guess, with a fair amount of weight and a thick hit.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of this shot, but
no. Really got to hold the shooter. It's a free draw for 2.
It's close, really close.
Oh, and beautiful roll. Will she stay for shot? No. But a really great attempt there from Christie.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I thought that would have stayed for sure. I didn't think that would roll that far.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked like it was staying. It certainly does bring down the scoring area for Marianne. If she ends up only taking 1, Christie Gamble will certainly say that shot was good enough. But there's a chance here for Marianne to grab her second point. Just needs about full 4. Going out real wide here, but so she has to come around that rock that's top 12, top 8. You see Jennifer Baxter trying to keep the line straight there. They just want to make sure they're by that blue stone, and they are. And a spot on weight from Marianne Arsenault. She draws into the full 4 for her deuce. 2 points in the 5th end for Marianne Arsenault. She'll go up 5-2, and the hammer back to Christie Gamble for the 6th.
Yeah, it was a great shot. She didn't have a lot of room to draw to there, and had a little trouble with the draw weight up until then. So great shot by Marianne.
Yeah, it was a great throw. And that'll bring us to our 5th end break for this game.
Yeah, good time to see what's going on across the board here.
Yeah, also in the 5th end break next door between Teresa Breen and Emily Dwyer. We have Emily Dwyer finally on the board in 4 with a single.
Yeah, and I actually think she probably ended up stealing one in the
is that right? Yeah.
5th end on the burned stone. I think that when they burnt the rock going down, I'm pretty sure it was a takeout. So a bit of a guess there, but
yeah, we are.
Yeah, exactly.
They have
They're
plans.
pretty sure what they want to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think with the timing, I think just being in the hack ready to throw is a big part of it. Still about 30 seconds of talk time built into the clock for every shot, and especially at the beginning of the end, you're hardly going to take that much time. So
Yeah.
it's pretty difficult to be tough on time, to be tight on time. I think you might see it. You saw it a bit over the weekend during some of the skins play, of course, because it's much more complicated ends in that format. But
yeah, that was so complicated they changed it after the first round of the doubles play. I don't know if they had intended on doing that, but it was just a little hard to figure out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's actually usually you get to throw the first rock at the end without any time running off the clock.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's true.
But hopefully they'll use a little more time here if they can get a couple corner guards up and.
Yeah, nice corner there from Mary.
Yep.
So it looks like Marianne's going to bring this stone in pretty close to the first one. Thought you might see her tap it a bit more aggressively, because then it's a pretty... So it's a wider target anyways for Christie Gamble's team.
Yeah, if Christie's going to play the takeout here, she better make sure that she stays, because if she doesn't, the corner guard's going to be gone in a second.
Yeah.
I don't...
I think it's really early to make a move, no?
Yeah, I don't think you need to play this. I think it's... I'd throw up another corner guard, I think.
Yeah, I think I would too. Yeah, you know, the chances of Marianne going up there are pretty good.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens here. She's going to make a nice roll. Not quite behind, not quite shot either, but as Jim mentioned, hanging around, that was the important part.
Good afternoon, patrons of curling. Just an announcement that during the month of February, if you're interested in trying curling, we have a promotion strictly for the provincials, and it's a free sign-up. If you're a non-member, free sign-up for the month of February to test out some curling, and the sign-up is at the main desk. So again, free curling. Get your name on there if you're interested in trying out some curling during the month of February. Doesn't matter the age or the interest or the experience, young or old, alike.
Really would have liked to have seen Christie just sort of ignore those rocks for a few shots and try to get one behind the corner. And
Yeah.
it's hard to hit and roll behind the corner, and especially crossing the face on this shot is difficult. It's kind of a hard thing to do. So
Yeah, kind of be the master of your own destiny. You know, you threw the guard, go behind it.
yeah,
So I agree. A hit and roll is one of the toughest shots in curling.
it's close though.
Yeah, some more behind cover there.
Or you can just make it perfect, and that's the other option. It's just, I mean, she can make that, but still, that's a hard shot to make that well. And
yeah, even now, Marianne goes after the guard,
yeah,
and you might be able to split the house this early, but you've made your move so early that you're gonna see Marianne have a few shots to try to regroup the stones and get a good double opportunity of her own. So. I like to think I'm quite patient in the house as far as when you make the move behind those guards.
yeah.
Thought being, just leave the opposition less chances to get out of it, but you're also giving yourself less chances to make it. So.
Yeah. So try to throw the corner back up again and protect that one in the house. Have Marianne throw a few peels at these corners.
Yeah, so you're actually seeing some patience here from Christie. Instead of splitting the house early, she's trying to put the guard back, but she's going to be going for some kind of plan B here. It's a bit heavy on this stone. But, they're going to get a bit of a split, and it looks as if they might be laying 1 and 2 now.
Yeah, I think so. It's a little bit of a thin double for sure, but
Yeah.
Marianne will probably take a run at it.
That's not an awful result for Christie, but definitely it wasn't really the call. It's going to give Marianne an out here. And, if those percentages Jim is keeping track of are any indication, Christina Black will be close on this one. Hasn't missed much today. Here we go with the double opportunity. Is she hitting it a little too thick, Jim?
Yeah.
Just rolls over top.
It's one of those, I think, Ryan, that sometimes you call that shot, but you really are protecting so much against it going just through the hole that you don't really sweep it to make that shot.
Yeah.
You kind of sweep it to be close to making that shot, which they were.
Yeah.
But it's hard to really commit that one because you have a 5-2 lead. Worst thing in the world would be to oversweep it and just scoop by everything.
Yeah, and here we see, the contrast in styles, the change in styles compared to Marianne's team facing this situation a few ends ago. Laying shot stone went for the hit on the opposition stone, and here Christie Gamble's laying shot stone, and she's completely content with just throwing the draw to lay 2. I think
yeah, you got to make sure this one's in the house.
yeah, and they've had a hard time keeping their shooters on the hits, so she thinks she has better chance of sitting 2 with the draw, and Brigitte puts it on the tee line, so it's a good call there from Christie.
Yep.
Coming at this outside in. Real thin. I'm just going to go under it, but geez, really close to making that double.
Yeah, good effort.
Yeah. Same approach here from Christie. Brigitte just put one tee line. Just going to ask for the same thing, going the other way. Sometimes you get caught, though. You tell yourself, oh, just got to throw the same weight, no problem. But you're going a different direction, different path, and then you can have a different result at the end of the day. Even though it felt identical from the hack. So let's see if Supers have picked up anything different here. Just walking it down now, looks pretty good. I think Christie would like these rocks either pretty high and steep or pretty even, and she's going to kind of leave them in the middle, so a bit of an angle there for Marianne to make a run at a double or a hit and roll in front. And Marianne's actually going to throw it inside out and hopefully get a bit more action off the bounce there.
Double definitely there. It's you got to throw it pretty hard for sure. You got to get a real big bounce off that shoot the target stone for sure. But Marianne can definitely make this shot.
Yeah, I don't. She's throwing a lot similar like this. Here we go with another double attempt from Marianne Arsenault team. Coming the other way. Christina Black calling line.
Looks like a nose hit, probably.
Yeah, this one's going to overcurl. And we're down to Christie Gamble stones here in the 6th end. Christie with hammer. Just going to hit this one, content with a nose hit. Nose would actually create a pretty good angle for Christie, make the double real tough for Marianne. And then maybe decision time Marianne. Would she just be happy with hitting the open one, giving Christie her deuce?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, actually. She might take a run at the double. The high outside and hit
high
on
side,
that.
yeah, maybe.
But more likely she would just play the hit and stick and see if Christie can hit and stick for her too. So.
Yeah, I think so.
But you got to make this one first. This is the big shot. This is can't get ahead of yourself here. If you don't stay here, it's all for naught. So.
Yeah, giving yourself lots of ice here, but I think we've seen good movement on this side, so that's probably why.
Might have helped it inside a little bit, maybe. No.
She'd really like to hit it on the nose.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think you want to roll too far. Great shot.
Nice throw there from Christie Gamble. She continues to lay 2.
Christie's had a pretty good game. She's throwing it pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. Decision time for Marianne here. It looks like she's going to go for a hit and maybe roll behind the blue one. Important to make contact here. I'd hate to try to go too aggressive for the roll. Get caught in the curl close to center line, and then next thing you know, you miss it on the inside.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she won't get too aggressive with this one, but
no.
Got to make sure it goes away first, and whatever else you get out of it's a bonus.
And a big turn of events on sheet 5 next door as Tanya Hilliard had to hit the 4-foot against 2 and threw it heavy. So we have a steal of 2 from Emily Dwyer, and she's now up 4-3 on Teresa Breen.
Yeah, that is quite a turnaround between being down 3-0 to 3 ends ago.
So here you see Jane Snyder trying to get this rock to curl up into the face. And she's still going to hit it high side. Christie Gamble sweeping it out the back. And it'll be a free open draw for 2 for Christie Gamble. Really good end, solid end from that team.
Yeah, well played in.
Turns out making that early move can pay off after all.
Yeah.
No, they held their own for sure. But as we said, you gotta make all 8. And this one's the one that's going to put it on the board. So you have to try to keep the same amount of focus. And
yeah, we've seen players miss this open draw
that's
today.
That's the thing, yeah. But as you just said, Christie's having a pretty good game. I think Christie, I know especially for Brigitte and Kaitlyn, I think they're really just out here to have a good time and grab some experience and throw some good stones. They don't, I don't think they're taking it too seriously, and that might be reflected in their performance as a team. They're holding their own with the defending champions. They score 2 in the 6th end. They're down 5-4 to Marianne Arsenault now, pulling in within 1.
Yeah, real good end for the Gamble team, and yeah, I hear you on what you were saying earlier, Ryan. I think it's and that's certainly not to say they're not going out there to play every game as hard as they can, but a goal for them rather than win might be just being in contention as they get closer to the end of the week. And just playing well. You just got to get used to that. Like I say, build some experience, get used to the pressure of the moment, because it's certainly a different pressure than you've had before if you haven't played at this level in these sort of events. So, and they're right back in this game. It's just 1 point.
Yeah, I say that more from knowing Brigitte quite well.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just know that she often I'll say, Brigitte, what time are you playing, or what sheet are you on, or some things like that, and so the response is often that there's other people looking after that. She just she likes to throw up and make her shots. Show up and make her shots, I should say. Yeah. But I think good on them. I mean, they've really grouped together well with some strong ends here, and should be a strong finish to this game against the defending champions. Yeah, Brigitte and I actually from the same home club back in New Brunswick, so been curling together since our young days. Any shout out to anyone listening from the Grand Falls Curling Club this afternoon? Brigitte getting to junior nationals representing New Brunswick in 2007. But this is her first Nova Scotia Scotties. Her first for Kaitlyn as well. First Nova Scotia Scotties. Kaitlyn played in the New Brunswick Scotties last year. Nice come around there from Marianne. Christie's going to ask lead Mary Mattatall to follow it down. They might opt to go around it now as this rock's hanging out a bit wider. So, have to go right to the back 4, back 8. Not a bad stolen there for Mary. I think a bit of a plan B. And Marianne's going to have to watch where she puts this one.
And staying aggressive here. She could kind of try to move that blue one out of the way with a little bit of a tick shot, but instead she's going to just come right down to it and try to keep some pressure on the gamble ring.
Yeah.
This one looks pretty good.
Well, looks like it's going to curl up to their yellow.
Yeah.
How far will they poke this one? It's definitely out the side, open out the side there.
It's different so when you play a shot like that with, just nice draw weight or back 4 foot weight, everything stays around, and you've got one top 8 foot now and one on the 4 foot, and no matter what Christie does here, you have something to work with. So good weight option.
This one looks pretty good coming down so far from Kaitlyn. Should have the right weight to curl.
Yeah, she gets a little bit of finish here. She's real good.
I don't think she got as much as, had a bit more weight than I thought, but comes up to close to nose. She really would have loved to get to the inside of that one because that's what Marianne's going to try to do now. But laying 1 and 2, Christie Gamble is here without hammer. Christie forces the steal here. In theory, has 2 hammers to Marianne's 1, and can make this game real interesting.
Yeah, you force Marianne to 1 here and score 2 in the next end. All of a sudden, you're in the control of the game.
That's right. Here we go, Jennifer Baxter trying to get this rock to curl. It's just going to be to the nose again. I think that's going to be a difficult line to make bust to the inside there. You really got to keep the weight down. It's probably the key to that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It's quite a bit of ice here, so we'll see if we're going to bring the weight really down. Should be Kaitlyn's second. In turn for the left-hander.
It's a little tight on this one. And a
we'll
little
see
light.
We'll see if the sweepers are able to hold it. They really don't want to lose their guard there.
No, I think they're going to, though.
Oh, it's close.
Well,
they don't lose their guard, but they tick to the side ring. They're going to hang around back 12 or so.
Yeah, just a little tight. Maybe a combination of a touch tight and a touch light.
I think the weight might have been close, maybe not to eliminate the yellow, but to push it to the back ring. And I think with the game situation the way it is, you could have left that rock there, especially if you were getting some nice roll to the center as a result.
Yeah, I agree.
Ticked that guard to an interesting spot, though. It's covering more of the yellow on the left-hand side, so Marianne's going to try to warp in there on that same right-hand side. I guess it'll be the out turn now for Jane.
Yeah, it did protect that left side, stop the opportunity of playing the raised takeout for sure. There's a little tap there, but that would be all there'd be.
Yeah, Christie will have some options here regardless. The last few ends, we've really seen some really well-developed offensive ends.
Yeah, the gamble ring seems to have got a little bit more of a handle on the draw weight and throwing the takeouts a little lighter and just making the game a little bit more manageable.
Exactly. Really
good shot.
Great weight here from Jane, and that's a really great spot, just even with that other yellow. Just any lower, any farther would have, really given Christie some options off the side yellow as far as a double or a hit and roll, but where it ended up there is just about perfect.
Not so sure I like what Christie's looking at here.
I think if you throw the same kind of weight Kaitlyn just threw, you can even get to the inside of that center line.
Yeah, I really think it's just a back 4, back 8 foot shot.
Thinks you can get both yellows and stay there to lay 1 and 2, I guess.
I think it can, but it's a really tough shot.
Yeah. And the reward's not that high, I would say.
No. And, it's a scary shot to go around and try to bump that one right through the hole, but I think that's the call.
Bridges kept her weight nice and controlled here. See if it comes into the inside of the yellow. No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh, this could be really
trying
bad.
to sweep it by or directly across the top.
Yep.
Oh, dear.
That was just a tough shot. I mean, I think as a thrower, you're looking at that and can't quite figure out what's going to be good after this. And I didn't really like that shot selection.
Yeah, Marianne lays 1 and 2 now, and is throwing, and has hammer. So,
yeah, those are all good things if you're Marianne's team for sure.
I think we got some handshakes over on sheet 2. Yeah, didn't get a score for the 6th end. They walked off the ice, but last we saw it was 7-2 for Colleen Jones. So, you assume she pulled away with a W there against Julie McAvoy.
So Arsenault's just basically going to try to throw a little freeze or a little tap maybe on the yellow. This spot's tough here. You got to really nail the weight to get this rock to.
I agree.
To move across there. That's just a tough spot.
Yeah.
Well, now you can throw whatever you want down there because yours is kind of out of the picture, and
that's right. Yeah.
You actually could make the triple here probably if you
hit
it in
that
the right
pocket
spot.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, you could
triple and even save yours, but
could. Yeah. I think to get the back one, you roll over top that second this Yellowstone.
Yeah. This way maybe.
Yeah, I think if you nut the 2 yellows, you're probably nutting the back yellow. If you double off the back yellows, you're probably rolling over top the side one.
You got rid of 2 and stayed right there. It'd be a success, I think.
Yeah.
No matter what else happened.
Yeah.
But I think they're actually playing this a little differently this time. They're
playing it pretty quiet.
Yeah, playing the shot I thought they should play the last shot maybe.
Yeah, This would have been the perfect call last stall. She's definitely got to have an angle here. Does she get the double? She's going to get the side one and stuff the double. Not an awful result. That stone's at least back button now.
Yeah, I think it's a good shot. I mean, it was going to be pretty hard to be shot after that, and it was going to be hard to even be in a much improved position after that. So, number 2 right now, and
yeah, there's more room there for sure. Yeah, it's like Jim said, there's a lot of places where you could have hit that yellow and you were going to be 4th shot. So.
Yeah, I think the mistake there was really on Brigitte's first shot with the call. I just think that was not wasn't a great call.
Yeah, and as you said, had she done that call she did on her second on the first stone, they could be sitting pretty here. This one's going to come up a little light, I think. I don't know if Christie can really afford to leave it there.
Yeah, another tough call for Christie because it's you could guard it, stop her from playing that shot, but she's got the in-turn tap on this side, and although not completely wide open, it's certainly makeable. Where you play that rock.
You play the double in your shot, but Marianne's still laying 2 and 3. Say you make the double perfectly. I don't think Marianne would have a raise onto the blue on the left-hand side. She'd have a little tap, I suppose.
Yeah, she won't have to because it'll be wide open on this side, so she'll just play the out-turn draw. Because to make the double, you got to roll away a little bit, right?
Yeah. But she'd just be drawing for 1.
Yep. Well, so far, there's still a couple rocks to come, I guess. But anyway, try to make the double first and then see what happens. And if it ever curls up and you hit it on the nose, that's not the end of the world. It's a good spot for you. And again, Marianne would be in the same position. Say, Okay, that might even be a better call, Ryan. Actually, just don't even try to make the double on this one. Just
stay there.
Yeah, just stay right there, maybe.
Yeah.
She's throwing it good today, so whatever she's playing, I expect it to be real close.
Yeah. She's really close to the double here.
I think she's got her own.
Oh,
she got it.
Perfect.
Good shot.
Perfectly executed from Christie Gamble there. And
Yeah,
as a
great
result, she is shot stone. Marianne lies second, third, and fourth. Christie really kept her weight nice and controlled there, and it prevented that blue shooter stone from rolling over too far. It does roll a little bit, but
no, it was a great shot.
It's there, and she might need it on her second stone if Marianne makes this perfect.
Yep.
I'd say using that blue stone would be easier than using, for example, the blue that's way off on the right there. I suppose you might have some kind of in off of that, but she'd be much happier throwing a raise on that blue stone.
Well, the thing again is that really you're stealing one here would be awesome for her, but forcing Marianne to take one is really plan A anyway. And
yeah, I agree.
And the way this end was looking a little while ago, now she's in great shape. So great shape to not drop a bundle kind of thing.
It was really great weight control on that stone because it's tendency, you're throwing a double to say, I've got to move two stones to throw it a bit harder. But that was good. Do you think, Jim, Marianne would have enough room here to throw back four, back eight, and tap
it? Yeah,
the blue stone.
I think there is, but so much stuff has to go your way. Like this side is so tough.
Yeah, it really is.
To find that magic spot where it'll curl and still have enough weight to do what you're saying. So I think it's just basic draw weight and.
Oh, and for the third time today, we have a light draw from Marianne. That changes things.
Yeah, Marianne still, it's funny. She made that great draw to score 2 points in whatever end that was.
Yeah.
And it was, she didn't have a lot of room to draw to, and then this time she ends up coming up short again. And what do you do here? Get real aggressive, play the same shot Marianne just played.
I think I'm throwing the same throw. I'm throwing the same turn for sure. I mean, it's a hole that's maybe a rock and a half wide, but you're playing a draw, so should be by that time the rock's curling.
Yeah, and you're not going to really, you're not throwing it hard enough to mess much up, if you will. You're going to leave Marianne the in-turn tap, but you're going to leave her something. No matter what you do here, she's going to have something left. So looks like they called a timeout here to have a little chat about it. I don't think they have a coach this weekend, so.
I think if you make the draw nice enough, well, I suppose it's a bit wider now with that Yellowstone, but if you get your draw right behind the Yellowstone that's top 8, the tap's not worth much. So you're just tapping it you're tapping it sideways and past those stones.
Well, I think it's, by far the best shot is the out turn come around.
Yeah.
Right to the.
That's what Christie's indicating right now. Yeah.
I think that's definitely the best shot. It's just a matter if you can get it there. Or you know how to get it there. Give yourself a little bit of room. If you ever tap the blue one, it's not bad. All those shots that Mary's pointing out are great too, but they're a lot harder.
And you could play, if you're intimidated by the hole, you could play that. You could get a stone in that same position by tapping your blue stone, just half a stone, back four weight, sideways.
Trick here is make sure you play something and with that doesn't make it easier for Marianne to get it out. Tap the blue one, and you tap it a little bit the wrong way and maybe set up a double. That would be disaster, so you don't want to do that.
That's true, yeah.
That's why I really like some kind of draw here.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem to be... I've seen them come back to this in-turn side a few times, and from up here, that looks like it would be the tougher of the calls, but we're looking at the out-turn now.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything on the in-turn for Christie other than just guarding the tap. I really don't think that she can make anything else.
When you look at the overhead and you see that the yellow rock top 8, if you papered that Yellowstone, I suppose you could get in, maybe grab a corner piece of the button, but it's a lot tougher shot. Yeah. They've seen a lot of stones come down this path, and she should be close on the line call.
Yeah, I like this call.
Yeah. It's pretty wide out there, and that's the thing, as we've said, it's tricky to find exactly where it'll snap. But she's got some raise options on that blue if it hangs out there. So here we go. Last stone for Christie Gamble in the 7th end.
Well, she threw it well.
Yeah, so sweepers are on it for weight a little bit. It needs to curl, but yeah, the sweepers need to drag it. If they don't bring their heads up, it's got the hole. Now, how far can they bring it? Oh, geez, their line was just perfect there.
Yeah, it really was, yeah. Sweepers worked pretty hard on that. I don't think they could have went any harder.
No, that's too bad. So Marianne's gonna here to. I think she's gonna play the tap on her yellow for one.
Yeah, that's all she has, and you know what? It's you did your job, and you might steal one here yet, or you force her to one. That's really what you were looking to do, and it's not a gimme shot for one for sure.
No.
Couple of good ends for the Gamble rink. The last 2 ends have been
solid.
Yeah.
Here, last stone, 7th end. Marianne Arsenault playing an in-turn tap for one.
I certainly expect her to be close in this shot. Not so
sweeping
sure
it now.
Yeah.
And she is on the guard. It will be a steal of one for Christie Gamble's team here in the 7th. After 7 ends, we have a tie game. It's 5-5. So yeah, a couple good ends from Christie Gamble's team paying off there.
Yeah, you never know. The girls climb right back in it here, and
yeah, I agree. Take advantage of both teams having a bit of a team meeting there. A nice shot there provided to us from our partners at Bell TV1.
Yeah, the guys do a great job, down here for the Dave Jones Spiel in the fall, and did a great job there, great job today. So it's really nice to have them on board to help us promote the sport. And
yeah, definitely, they've been great partners in the last few years. Take advantage of the time between the ends here to update our scores over on sheet 5. Another steal of 2 for Emily Dwyer in the 7th end, so she's actually up 6-3 over Teresa Breen now. They're playing 8. Teresa has the hammer, and Colleen Pinkney responds with a deuce in the 6th end. But we have handshakes there, so I think Jill Brothers may have scored a couple other points in the 7th end, and she'll take the win over Colleen Pinkney. So we're down to 2 games here in the first opening draw of women's action at the Nova Scotia Scotties Provincial Championships. We have a tight game here between Marianne Arsenault and Christie Gamble. And our game next door between Teresa Breen and Emily Dwyer. Breen trying to climb back in that one. He's able to take a bit of a breather there after a few ends of climbing to get back into the game. So she opens the 8th end with the rock top 8. Marianne's got to go on the offense now. She'll throw this corner guard with hammer, trying to generate her deuce. Marianne would love to score here in the 8th end, coming home in the even ends. Should, in theory, give her hammer in 10, but a bit more curling to do before that. Sweepers indicating a 7, should be about T-line weight. 8-9, so maybe behind the now becomes key to get behind the guard. She's just going to feather the back there, end up on the tee line. Not a bad shot for Mary. Marianne's going to play a hit and roll on this one as well, kind of following Christie's style earlier. We were both saying that could just draw behind these corners, but she's going to try to get there by getting an opposition stone out at the same time. It's kind of two birds with one stone, but makes it a bit of a tougher shot. Jen Baxter's thrown a lot of them. She's going to make this one close. Looks like she's going to peek out a little bit on the other side, but she will hang on to the rings, and that's really the key there. Decision time for Christie. Does she go after it early? Looks like she will. An early chance to lay 2.
It's a tough shot, way out in the wings. Deep by the board, tough on the sweepers. Got to make sure you don't run into the boards. We're going to have to go pretty hard on this, I think. That's one of those that unfortunately you work so hard at bringing the weight down the whole game, and that was probably one that you had to say, heck, I got to throw this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So an early chance for Kaitlyn to lay 2, or Christie rather, sorry, turns into an early chance for Marianne. I thought she might hit the blue stone to lay 2, but she's going to go behind the corner guard now. Still early in the end. This might generate multiple score.
Yeah, real aggressive call by Marianne for sure.
Yeah, I think Christie's pretty happy that he's leaving that blue one there for now.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I wouldn't mind that myself. So.
I want to try to stay above that other yellow. Looks like she'll be able to.
I don't know if I like that shot. Christie's going to play off the outside one. She really can't. She's never going to get them both. And not really sure what that does for you.
She's just going to poke the yellow one, I guess, closer to the center. I guess it's not awful if you manage to roll under it somehow.
Well, you make one go away anyway, that's for sure. And no.
A third of stone with board weight.
Yeah, a lot better weight coming here now.
But if she throws a similar line to her first stone, she could hit the other one first and make the double that way. And I think she might be close to that here. Oh, she's just going to squeak through, but she's going to tap that yellow one to the back four. Definitely a better placement for her there.
Yeah, there's a little more room there on that guard than I thought, obviously, because she can buy. Could have made the double off the inside one.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that was an option.
Marianne trying to get around the corner guard again. This one seems to be coming down a bit faster. Sweepers are indicating it's really nice weight, so it's definitely gliding,
deep,
no? Yeah. Will it hang around? Christie Gamble's going to try her hardest to get that out the back, and successful. So missed opportunity there from Jane Snyder. This Yellowstone definitely more open now for Christie to make a move on. You see Christie keep things fairly simple here.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting strategy here. It's, you know, if you go hard to try to steal one here,
You might give up 4.
Yeah, you can't. You really can't afford to. It's the 8th end, so for Marianne, it's a key end. Just for her to score anything here is a good result. But I think Christie would be pretty happy with forcing her to 1. And
yeah, and if the momentum keeps going the way it is, you know she'll have a good chance at her deuce in 9.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And this one's curling her. Sweepers are working hard. Letting up now.
Shot again. Once again, we see that weight that.
Yeah, a nice weight control
coming down
for
from
sure.
what they were throwing early.
I think if I was Christie, I might have tried a little harder to knock off out of the forefoot there. They're pretty close together for a double opportunity for Christina.
Yeah, the only problem would be you'd end up rolling it behind the corner, and I guess that's maybe what was on her mind. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Marianne's opportunity if she takes it. So, all sorts of ways to play curling now.
Yeah.
So nice double there from Christina Black, and we'll see an exchange of stones here. We'll see Christie the corner guards. You know that Marianne's going to try to roll towards it. Another nice weight control here from Brigitte. That's the face. And roll to the other side, so they have to cross it quite a bit coming at it that way, and doesn't quite have the weight to bounce over there, so it's just going to stay top 4.
Yeah, it's tough to do that, making that shot on that crossing the face, but I guess really they may not know the other turn well enough to take a chance on, so they stay with this one, but that is hard. That's a really lazy coming down there too. It just looks like it wants to curl, but it doesn't. So
it's true, yeah. I don't.
Marianne would like to roll behind the corner here.
Yeah. I don't know if. I don't know how hard she wanted to, because I didn't really see much of an indication to try it out. So she might be thinking she might be okay with the blank here.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. So Christie gonna go on the intern. So far, anyway.
Yeah, I think at this point it's moved farther away from center line, which might have something to do with it. Sometimes when you're crossing center with that control weight, so you can.
Yeah, and the out turn would be a little scary. You'd be staring the guard right into the line.
Yeah,
where
it'd be
you're
a lot
trying to
tighter
throw
now
it.
for sure. Yeah, that's true.
You have to watch here. There's a rock at the back of the house that could be a problem if you ever jammed it.
Yeah, that'd be really unfortunate for Christie. Just next door, the only other sheet in play now, we have Tanya Hilliard throwing her last stone. Emily Dwyer set up for another steal, and you have Tanya Hilliard throwing an in-off off a stone on the edge close to the boards. We saw her make one like this earlier. And she's just going to miss the stone. It's going to be another steal.
Ooh, almost had the jam here.
Yeah, got away with it for Christie on her feature.
Good shot for Christie, though. Good game continues. You know, it's interesting how games go and how teams feel about how games going. And I would think that the Gamble team, regardless of whatever happens here in the last few minutes, has got to feel really good about how they turn this game around and made some adjustments that had to be made. And you know, they're still in a great position to win this game, but even if they don't, I think they've got to feel really good about how this one has gone and what they've done. So
yeah, and it should come down to the last couple ends for sure. The last end.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So yeah, it's anyone's game. You mentioned a couple of our Nova Scotia seniors women's teams qualifying for the provincials, and next door the Emily Dwyer team coming up from the junior ranks making the provincials. So lots of depth and talent in women's curling in Nova Scotia, and you know, they're giving the runner-ups a run for their money here on sheet 5. So
yeah, serious run. They're up 4, so they're
yeah.
Maybe we should say it the other way around. But,
yeah.
But you know what? That game just really turned on a couple of things, and certainly the burn stone when I don't know who fell, but somebody fell, and that happens in the game sometimes, and you know, all of a sudden you give up a steal and one, and that just seemed to turn into a disaster from there on, which is not like the Breen team. They've had an absolutely amazing year. So Christie just try to hit and stay here, make sure you stay around, and make Marianne make her last shot.
Yeah, it'd be really decision time for Marianne.
This side is really tough, but she's got it.
Yeah, she's going to hold on.
She did. Look at that. Spun back in. Yeah.
Your
that's
turn.
what you, when you're the chair of the event, you get to do all kinds of stuff. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a great position there. Don't know. I think Marianne wants to score one.
Well, I don't think she does, but I think this is one of those ones that you don't. Sometimes you go hard for blank, and if you miss it, it's fine. But
You're
this
okay
one,
with it,
yeah, this one I don't think you are. I think this one you say, okay, well, let's hit it. And if we stay, we're up 1-9 without, which is really kind of where you like to be at the start of the game. And if you blank it, that's great too. So I assume she's throwing an intern here. So certainly not taking a lot of ice. She must be planning on heaving her down there pretty hard. We know
it'll be interesting to see what the rock does as it approaches there.
Board's on the other side, Ryan. You mean there's
yeah,
a line,
the sideline.
Yeah, I got you.
the metaphorical board.
Yeah.
Because you see some rocks kind of fall out quickly when it gets close. She wants to keep this rock on the inside of where that might happen, but still got to hit that rock. So she's going to get the rock. Is she going to roll in, out? Oh, and she noses it for the single.
Wow.
Marianne Arsenault takes 1 in 8. I think she might have almost... She almost could have rolled on the outside, got the blank there.
Yeah,
I thought that's what was going to happen, but it's stuck right there on the nose.
That's one of those. As long as you don't indicate too much what you're trying to do, you get 5 points for it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The scorer doesn't know, so we say, yeah, it must have been what she tried.
5 from our in-house statistician here, Jim Nix.
Yeah. I just figure hitting a rock out that far is a good shot, so I think it deserves lots of points.
Yeah. So here we go. 6-5 for Marianne Arsenault playing the 9th.
Yeah, great game. We got an awesome game on our hands. One that looked like it might get a little out of hand early is turned around, and it's we got the proverbial barn burner going on here. Marianne has to decide if she wants to go at this end, throw up the guard, or go right into the rings and make Christie Gamble make the decision. Looks like a guard. We're watching Rachel Holman. This would be a tick shot call, no question about it, but Chris is going to have Mary Mattatall play the come around. Want to stay above the tee line with this one, pretty important. Keep it up at the top of the forward, top of the button. Side, as we've said a few times, just a little bit lazy, and then you catch the curl and it goes pretty good. Looks like Mary's got weight here. Careful it doesn't come out the other side. Might want to stop sweeping it about now. Yeah, good shot by Mary Mattatall. Jen looks tight on this one, but managed to straighten it up. I'll sweep it to try to get a little curl. Good shot. Certainly wasn't buried, but it was at least partly buried, so a real good shot by Jen Baxter.
Gamble going after this rock on the stone. Christie likely keeping it open because she's likely happy with the blank here to take the hammer into the 10th end and try to get her deuce for the win then.
Yeah, I think she'd love
if she gets an easy deuce here, I'm sure she'd take it as well.
Yep. Yeah, she certainly loved the blank, no question about about it, but 2 or 3 would be nice too. And I think we're going to see a lot of hits. I think both teams are going to be, so as long as everybody stays on this, I think you're just going to see a series of takeouts as we go on. Christie won't want to do anything too aggressive. Definitely doesn't want to give up a steal here. Marianne, by throwing the guard out front in the first shot, indicated that she's kind of looking to steal this end, not just kind of run this end out.
Well, the minute, you know, it's only going to take one rollout from the Gamble team for Marianne to get a chance to use that guard. So, especially the first stone of the end, why not put it up there and you have it all end? You might see if you get a rollout from Marianne's team, you know, Christie decide to get rid of that guard. But, you know, with a nice roll like that, I think that'll be far from what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think you're right though, Ryan. If you ever did get a rollout, I think that she'd be peeling the guard off for sure. I don't think she really
kind of
wants to play
assures her
around
the blank.
center. Yeah. Tough shot here. This is the side, and the side's just, as we know, just a little bit dicey. So, got to really watch the weight here. Don't ramp it up too much. And
really love to hang the shooter around. Like I said, Marianne's just dying for a chance to wrap one around that guard.
yeah, maybe a touch too much weight, but you know what? Again, I've said it before. I'm just really impressed with the adjustment these guys have made and brought the weight down so it's playable. That one maybe just a smidge up, but you know, still far less than they were throwing that first 3 or 4 ends, and much better results as a result. So. Marianne's going to try to get around there.
Yeah. Interesting to see what Christie does after. Depends how hard she wants the blank here. She might be okay with getting a bit of an offensive run here, but it looks like this one's going to peek out the other side. So she's going to be able to ask Kaitlyn for the same.
Oh, she's thinking about
drawing.
draw.
Go for the draw.
Yeah, you hear Mary Holler say, "Hey, whoa!"
Yeah,
the coach in her is coming out. So
That's
no,
right.
No.
So, breath of experience coming through from Mary Mattatall in there.
Yeah. She says, "Well, you got me here, so you're gonna have to listen to me." You're just a touch out on this one, but hopefully the weight's close.
Yeah, I think the weight's a little lower, so should react nicer for her. It's definitely going to get to the face of it.
Hey, you'd like to pull a little bit just so that
Yeah.
Marianne doesn't decide to play the draw. And she won't. So.
Yeah, it looks like Marianne's probably all right with the blank here as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Marianne would be quite willing to say, well, okay, well, let's go ahead and blank it, and we'll force you to win the next end, and we'll win it in the extra end.
Exactly. Yeah.
Christina makes her 700th shot in a row.
Nothing to
Good
it.
throw. No. I think the game's easier when you slide straight like that. I never really kind of figured that out.
Mechanics go a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. On our sheet next door, there just continued dominance from the Emily Dwyer team. Teresa Breen's team attempt freeze after freeze after freeze after freeze. I've seen clean picks, seen nose hits, seen anything that's needed for the Emily Dwyer to get rid of those stones, and now they're laying 3 as Tanya Hillard comes down for her first of 2 skip stones, trying to make a comeback.
You know, Emily's team is a team, one of those teams that if they get on a bit of a roll here and, you know, get a few games under the belt and still stay in contention, that they could do a lot of damage at the end of the week. They have really played very little. I haven't seen them in a whole lot of events. You know, a few, but not very many, and I think they're all busy with school and work and everything else that goes with it, and there's enough talent in that team for sure, and enough confidence too, because Emily knows the game and not afraid to play any shot and not afraid to have a lot of rocks in play, so, you know.
It's great to see that at her age, for sure.
Yeah, if they stay in the hunt long enough, it could be interesting. Couple of nose hits here. This is one now. This is high enough now that if Christie could have a chance to make the little roll, I think that she would certainly take it.
Yeah, I agree. Seems to have tightened up the ice a bit, so that might be an indication that she's looking for it. Second stone coming down from mate Brigitte MacPhail. Now it goes. Can they hold it for the perfect roll? Needs to curl a bit more.
Real close.
Really close to. Yeah.
That's okay though, because it really takes the roll away from Marianne.
Exactly. Yeah.
Marianne will probably try to hit and just roll out in the 8 foot and give Christie a pretty easy shot and maybe an easy chance to blank the end.
Yeah, that's the thing when you bring your weight down like that. You kind of have to think twice about your rolls, because to make that roll perfect with that kind of hit the stone quite a bit thinner, so you got to think of everything when you make an adjustment like that. Usually you think hitting less than half a stone is too big of a roll, either roll out, but if you're only throwing hack weight, hitting less than half a stone, you just roll a couple feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like this shot. If you had to make it, you could actually bring the weight way down and probably make that inside roll with a real aggressive sweep call.
Yeah, I think so.
But in this position where you don't absolutely have to make it, they're going to try to make it with the directional sweeping, but I don't think they'll quite get there.
Nose hit for Marianne.
She'd like to roll this right out to where she had it in the last end, I think, and then see what Marianne would do.
That's right, eh?
I think she would go after it. She might choose
I think so,
to.
yeah.
Would be interesting if she decided to ignore it and play the come around, because if you don't make it perfect, you drop a 2, so you're 1 down with the hammer.
We've seen a lot of come arounds stop right around and peek out on the other side.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah.
You're kind of playing with fire there.
And the other part of it is too that everybody says they'd like to be 1 down with rather than 1 up without. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people. But I think they lie.
Yeah, it's the classic setup in curling, but for being okay with the win in the extra.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
That's what people forget about that equation.
Well, I got to go real
this
hard
one's
on
close
this
to
one.
the guard. Well, she's by. Well, she's gonna get an inside roll, Jim.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I think she just did the impossible.
Solid control
Yeah,
weight on that.
Yeah.
Jeez, wow. What a shot there from Christie.
An amazing shot. Shaking her head going down there. I'm pretty sure she wasn't really thinking that's where she was going to roll, but...
No, I don't think she wanted to hit that close to the guard, but...
No.
So Marianne's got to make a draw here. To wrap around both.
Yeah, she's got to make a real good draw, and then, unless she makes a real pistol, Christie should have an opportunity to make something for her, too.
Yeah. Next door, Teresa Breen wasn't able to get a single out of the 9th end, so she'll trail fire without hammer coming home, 7-4.
Yeah, not impossible, but pretty difficult to steal 3 in the last end. But
see Emily Dwyer's team just counting the stones there, hopefully. And here we go, last stone from Marianne on the way in the 9th.
Marianne, we've seen Marianne miss a number of draws today, but we've seen her make the hardest one. So this
true.
This would be in that category. So I expect her to be close on this.
Yeah. I think they seem to be okay with the weights, but
It's a great shot.
wow, yeah. To the top of the button.
Certainly gettable. No question it's gettable, but still a heck of a shot.
What does she see there, Jim? About half?
Yeah, I think
small half.
Small half, yeah. Let's call it a third.
Optimistic half. Yeah, it's definitely there. It's a tough shot for Christie, but it's a big one.
Yeah, a real big one. It's no question. It's going to be you're either going to get 2 or you're going to give up 1. So getting 2 is a much better result for her. I think this is a very makeable shot. She's certainly thrown a lot of good ones.
And even she could underthrow it and just get one, but even then, with where Marianne put it, it's still got to be moved 3.5 feet to count with the one top four. So
yeah, I think she's going to throw enough weight that she's either going to
hit and roll out, or
yeah. And I think she helped it outside a little bit.
Yeah, they really need this to curl.
Probably go hard on that outside sweeper, maybe.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
It looks like it would want to if it got a bit of help.
Yeah.
Oh, it's close.
Just a little outward motion at the release there, and you can argue about whether or not the weight was a little more than she needed to, but I think it was fine if you just had not helped it a little bit towards the outside. So, but down two's not seen a lot of people score two.
Yeah, she'll keep the hammer, but gives up the steal of one to Marianne Arsenault in the ninth end. So Marianne up now 7-5.
Everybody having a team meeting. The team meeting sort of thing is kind of predominantly a women's curling feature. You don't see a lot of men's teams do that, but you see almost every women's team do that. So.
Yeah. And I guess especially at these timed events, you do get a minute between ends, no?
Yeah, there's 45 seconds.
45 seconds, yeah. So, why not have a little chat?
Yep. Well, it just sort of sets the tone. I don't even know for sure what they say, but I basically think it's like, okay, well, this end's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But
I've always been a pretty good fan. There's nothing worse than being in the house with a plan. You being the only one knowing what the plan is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd love to throw that one again. I think I'd be of the opinion that definitely could have got away with a little less weight, but
yeah. Well, yeah, a little less weight, you get away with that 1 or 2 inches wide or whatever, right? So, well, Christie will probably throw 2 corner guards, I would think here. She'll throw one in the shot, and then no matter what Marianne does, she'll throw another one. The hope here is to still manufacture a 3, and you really need two corners really to get a 3. And
she manufactured a really nice deuce in 5, and we're looking to do something similar here.
Yeah. Mary's had a real solid game. Certainly played very well today.
Yeah, nice corner.
I always wonder whether or not you should throw the second one in the house or not. And with a 2-point lead, I'm kind of thinking it doesn't really help you. I'm not so sure that just tossing it through is not a better plan.
Yeah, there's not very many places to put this one. I agree.
Maybe just my teams aren't good enough to put it there. We just drop one short or something.
I usually put it in, the top 4 as well, but it's like you said, it can come back to bite you. This one's going to wrap around that one and end up top 12. You're going to see Snyder actually try to get it all the way out, but it's going to hang around at the back.
Yeah, it's just a rock that, if it stops 2 feet shorter, it's even worse. So I don't.
There's not much of. Didn't get much out of that one. So.
No. Well, what I find is usually later on you'll spend like half the end trying to make sure you don't jam one on it. It's just
definitely
too hard in the head. I think I just as soon it'd be gone. But anyway, what do we got here? We got a.
So just going to throw the second corner.
Yep. Yeah. Good call.
Yeah, I think Christie would really ideally like to wrap this one up here, but with the 3-ender.
Well, you got a lot of time here. At least if you throw the other corner guard and somebody peels one somewhere, you still have one to work with.
Yeah, exactly. The one, in theory, the one miss gives you your deuce if you make all of yours, and if you get another miss out of Marianne's and you've got really good placement, you never know.
Yeah, good shot. A little deeper than she wanted, but still a good spot. Jane taking a little glance back at the clocks, but both teams all kinds of time left. 5 and 5.5, 6.5 minutes.
Yep.
Pretty much play a couple ends in that much time, so time's not going to be an issue. That's good. Nobody likes time being an issue.
No, that's right.
Yeah, that's why you wanted that guard a little higher, but.
Yeah, but she will get rid of both blues, so now Christie's kind of forced at it. we go play into the rings.
Yeah, it's
Could
interesting.
throw another corner, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'd be throwing another corner,
Yeah.
but whatever. It's just a matter of preference here. I think if you go in there and yeah, I don't know. I just got to be in play for sure. You got to make sure she has to play you if nothing else. And Kaitlyn's had a pretty good game as well. All the players out here have actually had a good game. Marianne's team was solid the first half, and Christie's team has been just as solid the second half. So
Yeah, that's right.
team's playing a good game today. That's a good shot.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. It's not the best angle there because should go out the side easily if Marianne avoids the guard, but
Jane throws that high hard one
it's
pretty
gonna be
good.
close to that guard. This one. Yeah, I think Marianne decided pretty early that that didn't really stand a chance at the back one.
What do you play now, right?
I think you gotta put the guard back, yeah.
Do you put it on the one or do you put it off to the side? I think you guard the blue one totally, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, leave yourself a shot at the yellow, but
Yeah.
you
shot
could
the
even
yellow,
guard
but-
the low side of the blue, really, because the blue's
Well,
not going anywhere this
Yep.
side.
Yep. Yeah, just gotta make sure this doesn't overcurl
Yeah.
or that it's heavy.
You know, if you're Mark Dacey, you're trying to win a Brier, you wrap one around both to the back 12.
Yep.
Christie could do that too for a
Yeah.
3-ender right now. Really, it's kind of the same situation.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting call. Just such a hard shot to throw. That one's perfect anyway, whatever. That's a great shot right there. Seems easy, but when you're in the hack and you know how important it is, it's not quite that easy.
And Emily Dwyer has successfully run Teresa Breen's team out of stones on sheet 5. That'll be a victory for the junior team over Teresa Breen. Last year, runner-ups, they'll begin the round robin with a loss.
Yeah, you got to have the odd upset along the way, and keeps it exciting, keeps it interesting, and no disrespect to Emily's team, but on paper that was theoretically an upset. So teams are so evenly matched at this event, and same as the side, it's just a little bit hard to call anything an upset. So
Yeah, I agree. It's there's lots of chances for log jams at the end of the week with the records because I don't think anyone's going to run away with the title this week.
same shot coming down now. Brigitte's just going to try to throw that guard back up on the blue one. Really, someone's got to move a little bit.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, she can leave the outside of it open. Actually, probably should leave the outside of it open so she can play it herself if she has to. But good shot.
Yeah, good placement there from Brigitte.
Mentioned too that thanks again to the Kruger people and for sponsorship of this. They've been around women's curling for so many years now at provincial level and national level. It's very rare you have a company that sponsors nationally for that long, and then also pretty much sponsors every provincial
I agree.
championship across the country, and pretty amazing and pretty fortunate in curling and women's curling for the last I don't know how many years, a long time.
82?
82? 1982 or 82 years?
No, 1982 might have been the first year, I think.
Wow. So that's like 33 years. That's going back.
Yeah.
On the men's side, hopefully we're just at the first of those 32 years now
Exactly,
with East Coast Credit Union. So
that's
pretty
right.
excited to have them on board this week.
That's right, and they're also joined by Deloitte and Travelers, and of course Bell TV1 providing our coverage here this week of the men's and women's Nova Scotia Provincial Championships. And here we go. This seems to be a call for the 3-ender going around the rocks in the house, which is going to be slightly short, and it's actually not a really good spot to have left that stone
So unfortunate. It's just it's got to go another foot. You got to go another foot.
Yeah, it's got to be back. So the thing with the sweepers is that you're not often used to judging rocks for being at the back of the house, and it's easy to think, oh well, this is there, but there actually has to be back of the house, not T-line, and that's
well, and one thing there, Ryan, that they had,
for it.
Yeah, the one thing they had was they did have a little bit of backing, which usually you don't have. So
yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's too bad, but you know what? Everybody's trying to do
call,
the best
though.
they can. Yeah, it was a great call. Yep.
Yeah.
I like the call too. It's just unfortunate that right now it's going to be hard to not have both these blue ones gone after this shot. Just a little bit tight, which may only get the top one.
Yeah, so will this save Backstone? I think she's close anyways, yeah. And the yellows ended up in a really nice position there for her as well.
Yeah, great shot by Marianne, but really kind of almost a gimme with where the other one ended up. So, well, Christie's had great weight all day, so puts of it, you never know. Timeout.
Yeah, so it's just going to take an extra second here to talk about all the stones I've seen come down this path, and just make sure it's really ready to throw it well. I'm just going to see, what options am I leaving Marianne. Marianne will have some kind of raise on that top yellow one, even if the freeze is made pretty perfect. So it's a tough spot here for Christie. It's really too bad on that last stone. Put that a rock, a foot further, and she's set up real well for 2, if not 3.
Yeah, the other thing you could do, play that same shot you just called, wrap it around there, just make sure tougher now. But
yeah, you could. Yeah,
it's you got to be at least number 2. Yeah, that's probably tough. Come in here and bump it 6 inches and
hope
hold
for the best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, our other primes for the combined event, really, Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is a gold sponsor of this event. Here providing coffee to everybody. Well, maybe not everybody. But
it's definitely convenient in the morning time. We got some early games this morning. Got started at 8 a.m. I think tomorrow morning we get started at 8 a.m.
Yeah, really early tomorrow.
Yeah. The 4-game day tomorrow.
4 games tomorrow, yeah. Ice Maker's dream, or
Yeah.
maybe nightmare might be a better word. I think that John said yesterday it was more a nightmare than a dream.
Line looks good on this one.
Yeah, it's got to curl a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe just a smidge heavy.
Yeah, she cook it. So he's changed the call to try to go around, Jim, like you were saying.
Yeah, better stop.
Yeah. Come to the back one. Just going to sit for third shot. Now, Marianne, she could go after it for the win. She could also...
You know, most people probably wouldn't. Marianne might, just because she throws those takeouts so well. Might just end it right here, but I don't know, a little risky, but just lob one into the house anywhere is good enough, but
yeah, I
won't be surprised this
suppose.
year.
Yeah, I really just draw it anywhere. 8 foot. Yeah, that's what she's gonna do. Might even just throw the guard, no?
You could, but I don't know. In the house someplace.
Mm-hmm.
Throw the guard and it doesn't happen to curl enough or something, leaves a double, and you throw it in the house almost anywhere. I mean, triples are, I don't care how easy they are, they're always hard.
Yeah.
That made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
They're never easy, let me put it that way.
Marianne's having a second look there now.
She's probably thinking, man, I can see half of that rock. That's usually loads. Well, just tighten up the broom a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of Christie's triple opportunities would come with a rollout on our shooter, so. With what we're going going to try to put this rock.
Oh, maybe she's playing a straight guard. I'm not sure. All I know is I better sweep it.
Yes, I don't think this is getting to the house. Now, as Jim mentioned, you have to curl enough and not leave the double.
Yeah, she probably got away with it, but
I think she got away with
pretty
it.
close to leaving the double, but I don't think she can throw enough weight to get it to curl enough to make the double.
No, I don't think so.
Because she really has to hit it on the nose. She can't afford to hit it on the high side.
Geez, if you paper that guard and get a bit of curl past it, maybe, eh?
Yeah.
God.
You better put both sweepers on this side then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you though, that Marianne hangs that out 2 more inches, and the shot's very makeable. It might be there, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to curl enough. Get by there real close, Christie, and let's find out. Well,
she's going to be close to the guard.
Pretty close.
Okay, will it curl? No, not with that kind of weight. So she's actually going to roll out and leave a steal of 3 for Marianne Arsenault. So that game will end 10-5. Marianne Arsenault begins her defending. Begins starting to defend her title with a win here at draw 1 for the women's play in action. That'll wrap up our this afternoon for us on Bell TV 1. We'll be back tonight for draw 2 of the men's action at 7 o'clock. Once again, 2 sheets in action. I'll be back at 7 o'clock. What about you, Jim?